Now at 10, the Joplin Esports Booster Club hosted their inaugural fundraising tournament today at Joplin High School. Plus, local volunteers from Neosho and Diamond, Missouri met up at Shoal Creek for a stream cleanup. And local elementary school students participated in the Block Kids Contest.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. The state of Kansas has issued an emergency suspension of a licensed daycare home in Fort Scott. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment issued the suspension to I Am Special Daycare located at 402 South Little Street. Between July 14th and October 24th last year, investigators conducted surveys and found unclean conditions, including mouse infestation and allowing children to play with toys in an area infested with mice droppings. The reports show that the daycare continued to allow pets to defecate inside the building, and floors were sticky from dried dog feces and dog urine. There are also power strips and window blind cords not placed in safe areas away from children. To find the full order of suspension, go to KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Esports Booster Club hosted their inaugural fundraising tournament today at Joplin High. Competitors played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for an $850 prize pool. More than 100 competitors signed up to play from other high schools, colleges, and even the professional level.
I've been gaming all my life, so I played Super Smash Bros., League of Legends, all of our esports games. And I was just excited to take the opportunity. It's growing in Missouri. Pretty much every high school in the state competes in esports in some fashion.
Our goal here is to just reach out to some kids that don't actually get supported, or at least they don't feel like they get supported in a traditional school setting. So our goal is just to kind of bring those kids in and make them feel welcome, give them an Eagle jersey to put on.
The $30 participation fee went to the Joplin High School esports program so that the team can attend other gaming events. Different tribes got together for a winter gathering event in Miami today. The 26th annual event included gourd and stomp dancing. The length of these dances varies and depends on the drum leaders, but they usually last about 3 hours. Officials say the crowd gets bigger and bigger as the night goes on. They expect about 400 participants to join.
This is just another one of our cultural events we try to hold every year to bring our people back in tune with who they are as a people and what we've done. And so some of these things were lost, but they've been coming back, and so same as our language and our cultural revitalization efforts.
The event also included free stew and chili for participants. Local volunteers from Neosho and Diamond, Missouri met up at Shoal Creek for a stream cleanup today. The Missouri Stream team worked near the Allen Bridge access point and picked up trash for several miles in that area. Officials say these cleanups are important to helping keep Missouri naturally beautiful, as well as keeping waterways safe and clean.
What gets us going is the fact that we all use the rivers and creeks, and we like to have a clean environment to use. We don't like a lot of garbage and what have you. And so we're actually not only helping the community, but we're helping ourselves.
The Pittsburgh State University School of Construction and the National Association of Women in Construction, Chapter 382, hosted the Block Kids Contest at the Kansas Technology Center in Pittsburgh today. Students in 1st grade through 6th grade were able to compete and show off their block building skills. Prizes were given out to the students with the best builds.
Every kid loves Legos, right? And then their creativity when they tell you what their project is, why they built it, some of them will tell you what each piece of Legos represent. I mean, they pretty creative young minds.
I just had to think of something that would be for construction and a bit easy to build. So I thought a bridge with a river and a wrecking ball would be good.
Each age group's 3 best builders were awarded with construction-related prizes. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Caleb. It's a beautiful day across the area. Radar right now starting to show some precipitation showing up towards our north, and this is right along that Arctic front that is moving through our area. Zooming in closer, you can see from around Butler down to Rich Hill, over towards Freedom, and this is eventually going to switch over to some mixture as we go through the morning hours. Another band of showers over south of Newark and near Independence down towards Coffeyville. And as we go through time, the temperatures are going to drop, and that's going to convert into freezing rain and drizzle and across the area, and also maybe a little bit of sleet pellets. Temperatures yesterday were in the 50s. Today we made it into the 60s, and I think everyone enjoyed that. Although the winds were a little bit strong, especially this morning around 11 o'clock, we were over 30 miles per hour. And tomorrow we're going to see those winds coming in again from the north and west, and eventually they will start to die down a little bit by evening. But looking down the lane, we're going to have a winter mix across our area as we go through the rest of the week. And of course, I'll have all the details on that coming up shortly.
The city of Memphis released police video from the violent arrest of Tyree Nichols Friday evening. The video shows Nichols being pulled out of a car during a traffic stop, tased and repeatedly beaten. The 29-year-old died in the hospital 3 days after the violent encounter. The 5 police officers involved have been fired and now face second-degree murder charges. Mostly peaceful protests took place on Friday night, and more are scheduled in cities across the country through the weekend. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry reports from Memphis.
In Memphis, leaders praised the community's response to the disturbing police video showing the brutal beating of Tyree Nichols during a traffic stop.
Memphis, Tennessee, honored the memory of young Tyree Nichols with peaceful protests.
In the body cam footage released Friday night, officers are seen holding Nichols down and repeatedly hitting him with their fists, boots, and batons. During Nichols' arrest for suspicion of reckless driving, officers chased him and at one point left him propped against a squad car with severe injuries. 5 officers were fired. On Thursday, they were charged with second-degree murder and other crimes in Nichols' death, 3 days after the January 7th beating.
The citizens of Memphis and Shelby County deserve to know the whole story as soon as possible.
Federal and local authorities continue to investigate, while the mayor says the specialized unit the officers belong to has been inactive since the beating that led to Nichols' death. Here in Memphis, residents are holding demonstrations while protesters also took to the streets in major cities across the country. Meanwhile, newly surfaced video from 2018 shows Nichols being interviewed while in line at the DMV in Sacramento, California. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis Police Director C.J. Davis said other officers are under investigation. And Shelby County Sheriff said 2 deputies were relieved of duty without pay while their conduct is investigated. We take time now to honor a local veteran. Dane Bell served in the Marines, first being deployed in 2006. The Joplin native served abroad in Iraq and Afghanistan. During his service, Bell has become a decorated soldier, earning the Combat Action Medal, Global War on Terror Medal, Good Conduct Medal, and National Defense Medal, among many others. To Sergeant Dane Bell, we salute you, our 4-state hero. Coming up, new material offers more details on last year's attack on Paul Pelosi. Plus, a collision between a bus and a moving truck in New York turns fatal and sends several passengers to the hospital. Body camera footage along with other evidence of last year's attack on Paul Pelosi has been released. The material includes police interviews with the suspect in which he admits to breaking into the home of then House Speaker in order to interrogate her. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more.
Hi, how you doing?
Chilling video of the October attack on Paul Pelosi shows the moment that the 42-year-old suspect,
Drop the hammer,
David the Pap, begins to strike Mr. Pelosi with a hammer. Moments later, officers tackle the suspect while Pelosi, who is 82, lays on the ground unconscious and bleeding. The body camera footage, along with surveillance images from the home and a 911 call,
There's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back.
All released on Friday by the San Francisco Superior Court after news agencies, including CBS News, argued it was public record. In his police interview, also released, the Pap admitted to breaking into the home.
How did you get in? Like, did you break it?
It was not easy. That is like special.
After the release of the videos, the Pap made a bizarre phone call to a local San Francisco TV station and told them he should have been more prepared. Under police interrogation, he was asked about his motivation. He said he wanted to interrogate then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
If she told the truth, I'd let her go scot-free.
Right.
If she live, that was gonna break the gas.
Mrs. Pelosi told reporters she hasn't seen the released videos or heard the recordings.
And I have absolutely no intention of seeing the deadly assault on my husband's life.
The PAP has pleaded not guilty, and his defense attorney said the release of this material could impact the suspect's ability to get a fair trial. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
The suspect, David DePape, faces multiple federal and state charges, including attempted murder. State Route 37 in the town of Louisville, New York, was closed for about 12 hours due to a crash between a bus and a moving truck. 6 people died in the crash, and there were 15 people on the bus, 1 driver in the box truck. Officers described the site as gruesome. Other victims are now hospitalized in local hospitals. A little later in sports, Jacob Leonard recaps Pitt State basketball's triple-digit win over Newman.
And it felt like early spring out there today, but don't worry, winter is coming back. I'll tell you all about it when we return. We had a beautiful day across the 4 states, although for the month of January, it's kind of unusual with temperatures in the 60s, but we'll take it. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino Resort, things are calm. Winds are out of the south, and it's feeling like it's in the 50s right now, but that's going to be changing as we head into the overnight hours. We're going to see lots of cold air spill back into our area. This afternoon, we, though, made it up to 61 after starting out at 44, which was only actually 2 degrees away from the normal high this time of year, 25 the normal low, and of course we weren't near those records. Right now on radar you can see some activity starting to develop now, especially to the north of Nevada up near Bates County, and also some activity around Independence and down near Parsons. Wind chill advisory out for northwestern Kansas, and that kind of goes to show you what we're expecting as far as the cold air. A little bit closer in view shows the showers near Butler, extending down to Fort Scott, and also just west of Parsons down to Independence. This is going to continue to develop as we go into the overnight hours. We have a lot of moisture coming up at us from the south and west, and a big storm system dropping down into the western United States, and it's going to spit off pieces of energy on top of that cold air that's going to be in place for several days, and that's why we're concerned about the possibility of freezing rain, sleet, and drizzle across our area, and even maybe a little bit of light snow. Temperatures are already below freezing in Iola as well as Yates Center, but just ahead of the front, it feels like it's in the 50s. In fact, it is in the 50s in Welch, Miami, Grove, Jay, and also northern Arkansas around 49 degrees. But it feels like it's in the teens already in Yates Center and Iola, 29 in Neodesha, 37 in Fort Scott, but here in the metro area, it still feels like it's in the 50s because it is pretty close to 50 degrees. But as we go through time, it's going to feel much colder, especially up to the north and west, with single digits by tomorrow morning and teens across the rest of the area. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, we're still going to feel like it's in the teens pretty much everywhere, and even some single digits off towards the north and west. Right now in Joplin, the wind is a little bit calm here at the station. At the airport, it's 48 degrees, south wind at 8, and it feels like 44, and the dew point is 42 degrees. Rain chances are going to be slight and low, but any precipitation that does fall is going to be in the form of winter-like precipitation. Tonight, front moves through the area, temperatures dropping behind it, as we're already starting to see. Then by tomorrow morning, there could be waves of precipitation with temperatures in the 20s. And then as we go through the day, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures struggling to get out of the 20s across the area. And then another wave of precipitation comes through on Monday with lows in the teens, pretty much wall to wall. And then Monday afternoon, the precipitation upticks a little bit, especially for our southern areas, with temperatures in the 20s and 30s, especially to the south. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, lows once again in the teens with northerly winds across the area. Over the next 7 days, the precipitation continues right on through Wednesday, and then wouldn't you know it, right as we head into Thursday, cloudy skies on Thursday morning, so I don't think the groundhog is going to see a shadow, which means, Cale, 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah, we might be in for some more mix.
Absolutely, at least this week anyway.
Yeah, well, there you go. Thank you, Sam. Still ahead, the Missouri Southern men aim to sweep the season series from 4th-ranked Central Oklahoma. And the Pitt State women put up a triple-digit win in Pittsburgh against Newman. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next. A new theater production in Tennessee is making sure all children who want the experience can have it. In today's WTVF's Forrest Sanders has the heartwarming story.
Okay, you ready to go break a leg? Okay, fist bump.
Lights are up, costumes ready, venue is set. This is it.
I'm a little nervous, not much.
You'll be great.
Final dress rehearsal.
All right, y'all ready? So here we go.
Director Jamie Storvik says,
Alrighty, let's start, yeah?
things have come a long way since our last visit to this Peter Pan Jr. production a few months ago. That's when we first met Ace Tarpley, a kid who loves his role.
Yes, actually.
Ace was made to play Tic-Tac Croc.
I like it because it's a crocodile. Rawr.
He's such a fun kid.
I'm not meat eaters.
Ace has spina bifida and hydrocephalus, but Jamie's brought a chapter of the Penguin Project National Program to Middle Tennessee. Here, actors of all abilities are paired with volunteer peer mentors to help with this and that.
Singing and dancing.
Give me a good pirate face.
Back then, Jayla Peebles was unsure of when she and the cast would be ready to take the stage.
I'll be too nervous.
But the months have built confidence. And today, a once nervous Jayla is taking on the lead role. There's something key to the success of this.
Tinkerbell, come on!
What made the nervousness go away?
Having fun with people.
And there it is. And so, together, a cast puts the finishing touches on Murfreesboro Little Theater's Penguin Project production of Peter Pan Jr. at Mills Pate Arts Center.
It's important for the children to get to experience something that normally would not be available to them. And it means the world to them, just like it means the world to me.
Forrest Sanders, CBS News, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Very cool.
Very
yes,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about an Arctic front moving in later on tonight, and we're going to see temperatures dropping down into the 20s and teens for the next several days. Waves of precipitation coming across, producing that winter mix of freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and yes, maybe a little bit of light snow towards the tail end of that. And to top it all off, it looks like the groundhog is not going to see his shadow on Thursday, which means 6 more weeks of winter. But at least at the end of the extended period, we're going to start warming up, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not an oncoming train.
Well, hey, there you go. Sounds good for spring. Jacob?
The Carl Junction girls 69-57 over Lebanon tonight to win the I-44 Classic. It's their 4th tournament title of the season. Destiny Berge had 29 points tonight for Carl Junction. They're now 18-1 this season.
That's great. The record to beat. All right, well, that's our time for tonight. Thank you for making us a part of your night. Have a great one.